Hello, hi, how are we? I'm getting a little bit of a late start today because I just got home from work. I told myself I would leave early. I told myself I would. I had things I wanted to do after work, but I didn't. It's so hard to be alive sometimes. But I hope everyone's having a good day. We are continuing to work on our little map today. So, grab your pen, grab your tablet, grab your mouse, grab whatever you're doing. And let's begin just doing stuff. It's kind of the whole point of the stream. We're just gonna be doing stuff. We're gonna be here together doing it. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually debating if I want to work on this right now, or if I want to work instead on my New Year's resolution article, which really one of these is on a much shorter timer, I think. I need to go check on when the New Year's resolution article is actually due. It's gotta be soon. I think it's like the 28th. Let's see. When are we? Or January 28th. Yeah, so it's like the same thing. The deadline for this map actually got pushed back a week. So I have a little bit more time than before, so I don't have to worry about getting it done today or tomorrow or this weekend. Or yeah, like it would be this weekend. So yeah, that gives me a little bit more time. Gives me a little bit more time to feel like a person, feel like a people. Yeah, though I am thinking about doing the reading challenge article right now because I actually have to pick a winner still from my conditions. And if the people's conditions are the ones I'm doing the reading article on, it might be a good way to refresh myself on each individual article and pick a winner. I'm not going to tell you guys my thought process on it while I work on it, of course. It has to be a surprise. But it's something we can do. And in fact, I just might. Let's see. I at least want to get this, I didn't want to look at the article, I wanted to edit the article. And I guess I'll be doing both, really. Realistically speaking. I have a lot in here already, because again, I'm leaving a little something for basically all the articles I streamed. Not basically, all of them that I streamed. And so I just need to think of something nice to say. Not nice, but what I learned. It can be very nice. I will be nice. I really like all these articles. So I'm gonna pull up my little list of articles from what I had read. Yes, today's mug of the day is my little floral mug that says, "You're doing great." And that is the energy I'm trying to keep today because I feel like I'm just out of time on everything. It is a challenge. And yeah, prior to like actually starting the stream, Streamlabs has been yelling at me that my frames are dropping like constantly. If anyone is actually like watching and not just listening along, I don't know, tell me if that's true. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm not doing anything like, I'm not really engaging in high octane, high action gameplay, you know what I mean? It's okay if I lose a couple of frames. Really, as long as you can at least generally see what it is that I'm doing, it's not really an issue. Yeah, we are gonna open this article. We're gonna kind of look at this. So this is kind of what I got going on. Just breaking it up into chunks, basically, by the 5 that I streamed each session. And down here it's kind of wacky because the formatting is kind of dependent on the text being there, so it's just kind of haha. Yeah, so I'm doing a little bit more than, what is it, 10 articles that you're supposed to do? I don't know. I'm doing like 25. I guess you could say I'm something of an overachiever. Yeah, 10 articles from fellow Anvilites, so I'm doing double and a half. But yeah. I'm excited to kind of just have a look at these articles again and submit this challenge. I really liked the reading challenge from summer camp. Oh, just having like kind of a more actualized incentive to go look at people's stuff and comment and be nice to them, and I just it had me kind of searching up articles that normally maybe I wouldn't have stumbled upon or read. I think that's really cool. And honestly, that's kind of what sponsoring a prompt was for me. I ended up reading a lot of articles that I very likely would not have seen otherwise. And I think that is very exciting. I'm just gonna pull up these, maybe I'll do the next 5 articles on stream, and then I'll just get back to my map. That's kind of the main star, right? That's kind of what I've been advertising. It's not just a map stream, it's a WorldAnvil stream, and so we're just kind of, we're doing it all. New Year's resolution challenge, that also needs to get done in the same time frame as this map, so we're just gonna get right onto it. Okay, I already put the links in here. So yeah, I already wrote my little 100-word blurbs on the first 5 articles I read on stream. Those were all, they were all really fantastic articles. It's gonna be really hard to finally decide who's actually kind of my winner. Even, like, I need to pick tonight. That is my goal, because it's due Saturday, so in 2 days. I'm gonna do it tonight, so I don't have to worry about it tomorrow. I have a lot to worry about tomorrow, so I don't want to leave anything for that day. So we're just doing it. We're doing stuff. So yeah, I'll pop this article back in here. This is gonna, I'm taking another look at Akendel by Art Gallus. This is gonna be next up on the chopping block. I don't remember, what was my main takeaway as a reader of this article? Like, what did I learn? That is the point of the reading challenge of World Numbers. So what did you learn from these articles? I mean, I learned a lot. Like, I know that I really enjoyed kind of the concept of this. This is like, I remember Akendel was kind of like, it feels like a really strong allegory to maybe even, to BPD, like actual, like, mental illness kind of, but not quite. Like, the whole, like, mindset of a child thing, that's not related, but, this, you kind of, the black and white, like, compulsive urge, spending time with people, but also, like, causing people harm and freaking them out so that they leave. Like, that kind of push and pull. I think it is really cool to see articles who can really, like, they can really tie into real world mental health. I know that has been debated as, like, a topic of, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't go into that. But I don't know, like, it's a real thing, and it makes a world feel much more lived in. I feel like if you can talk about the things that afflict people, especially if they're magical in nature, they can do a lot weirder things than just the human brain chemistry can. So yeah, I don't know, we could come up with something about that. World building mental conditions. It's a reminder that you need to do it with tact. Even if I think it's an okay thing to write about and okay to get into, you have to know how to do it in a respectful way. And I think that this article did that. Today's drink of the day is once again cranberry apple juice. I really cannot get enough of it. I don't know. I have my map pulled up on my other screen right now and I just keep looking at it like, oh man, I want to work on both of these things at the same time, but it's kind of hard to do that. One thing at a time. Maybe I'll do one write-up and then I'll work on my map a little bit. Like, oh, I do like a little write-up and then a pin and then a write-up and a pin. That could be fun. That'll keep me from focusing on one thing for too long, which I think might be really helpful. I'm like, I'm so stressed right now. You might not be able to tell from my happy little smile and my jaunty little pep in my step, you know? But no, I'm this close. This close. It's rough out here, gamers. There's so much to do. So much to do in so little time. It's like I said on the last stream, you always think that December, maybe even January, are going to be not as busy as the other months. But then they completely destroy your life. Completely toppled. How many words is that? Oh, not quite enough. Let's see if that fills up the whole, I could probably use a couple more words in here. It's almost filled up that line, that last line at the end. Now, is that too much? No, it's not. Okay, cool. We have managed one article. One little article write-up. Fantastic. And that's 101 words. We love to see it. We need 100 for each one. I mean, it's spirit of the rule and not rules to the letter, so it's okay. But yeah, we will do what I said. And so we finished one article read. Oh, let me leave a comment on this article and like it. I didn't do that before for some reason. I guess I was saving it for later. Just a little thank you for letting me read your article. I'm trying to leave a similar comment on basically everyone's article that I read for. A little thanks, a little comment, a little fluff, like a little, oh, this was a wonderful article, thank you, and a little kind of tiring in my what I learned in boating school is, if you will. Hmm. Okay, yeah, that, I think that works. Read your article. It's such a neat article and a great look into what mental conditions may afflict people in your world. The subject of mental health is often a difficult subject to approach in fantasy, but I find you did a great job with tactfully creating such a condition. It's reminiscent of some real-world elements, and it's cool to see how the familiar gets incorporated into fiction. Yeah, I think that's a good summary of how I feel about this article. I should say yes, I shall leave that comment. Beautiful. Okay, and so that's one more article ticked off of my reading list. Now let us jump back into our pins. And which pin will we look at right now? I think I kind of want to just keep working my way like across this map. Like start from one section, just build outward, not just jump around too much. So let us see. Kingdom of Arsavella does not have its own like pin thing yet. So we're gonna edit that real quick. We will see. So we need to grab the description for it. Maybe an image. Not maybe, definitely an image. Hopefully I have an image in here that will work. I mean, I should. Like, there's a whole article for this region. If there's not an image for it, I will scream. I might have some issues finding an image for the whole region. So I think I used all the other smaller ones individually for the little subzones, subregions, which may prove a little bit problematic. Because then I'll need to get another image. And I don't really want to do that right now. Because that requires a little bit of... It requires a little finagling, it requires a little adjustment. Okay, well, yes, I want to use this image, but I want to use a not cropped version, so now I have to go find it. I probably have it, oh yeah, I definitely have it saved somewhere on my computer. So let us go fetch it. It is hard out here, but I think I saved it in the correct folder. Maybe. I hope. Oh, it might be in my downloads. Aha, yes it is. Let me just, I'll just drag that in here. Just give that a name. Pop me in there as the artist. So you have to credit all your work, even if it's yours. But of course I outright say that I generated this image and that I did not outright make it myself. Honesty is indeed the best policy. Oh gosh, now I have to remember how I was laying out these images. Like this maybe? Yes. Perfect. And now let's go to our dashboard. We're gonna grab the article. Where is it? Right here. Cool, cool. That might be a little too long for the format that I'm going for, but it's fine. We will edit that later. For now, we are just filling out the pins. We need them done, not perfect. That is our motto for this map right now. Done, not perfect. If we finish them ahead of time enough, I will make them perfect. But I can't make them perfect if they're not done at all. So Such is the way of life. Yep, and there it is. Yeah, so it's like I want to keep these on 3 lines, not 4. So I kind of want to. I need to cut it down just a little. I know it's not the only one where it does that. What if I just cut that out completely? Okay, refresh. Okay, that's our little 3-line opener to that. And that one's good. That one, You know, I don't really need that last tidbit in there at all, really. So we're just gonna go grab it real quick. I know I said done not perfect, but I'm already going and editing things as I go. I just can't stop myself, can I? But yeah, beautiful. You just want everything to be nice and consistent. Well, it's like, it's just my artist brain. I want everything to be as consistent as possible visually. I don't want things to be too different from each other. At least not within the same project. Okay, so I know how to create a pin. Ta-da. So Hearthwild is the next thing. Do I have a good image for that? Tucked away somewhere. You know, I could use the face spinner image. I think that would be just fine. Or, Nimavi doesn't have a city yet, so I don't know what exactly I'd put in there. Kinda wish this little sidebar scrolled down with me so I could actually look at what I'm making. Yeah, we'll use that one for now. Edit this pin. Image. Beautiful. Okay, we don't need to look at this article anymore. I don't know that I have much of anything currently about the Hearthwild currently written, currently in my world. I don't even know if Nimavi like went into it at all. I just didn't get to it, really. It would be nice, but I did not. Aye. Alright. We'll have to dig into the archives for anything that I may or may not have written about this in the past. It's very inconvenient to have to do that. But we must. We are on this mission to complete these pins in a certain order. So we are going to try to do it. I've definitely written about... I've written about the Hearthwild for sure. Like, I've at least done that a little bit. Someone trying to contact me? No. Perfect. Did I really just not? Okay, so we're just gonna make something up real quick. Worldbuilding is located deep within Nimavi. Hello, music. Why have you stopped? Don't like that. Okay. So yeah, we are writing about the Hearthwild right now, which is indeed an ancient forest situated in the middle, not the middle, kind of like the deepest reaches of Nimavi. Basically, no one in the surrounding lands can really access this forest because it's just so... It's very unfriendly to travelers. Like, you have to go in here with a mission. Like, it's even hard to kind of end up in here. You just kind of... Like, if you're in here, it's because you fully intend to be. And you kind of know what you're getting into. And it goes from like this really nice kind of delicate woodland forest to basically jungle real quick. Just seemingly out of nowhere. And it is kind of out of nowhere because it's very magical in nature. It's the way I like my forests. Deeply magical. Is think of the best way for me to describe this in like a nice and concise way. It's an ancient forest located deep within Nimavi. In which the convergence of two merging ley lines produced a climate uncharacteristic to the region in which it is situated. I think that's a decent little explanation of what is here. Just a little map pin. And the raw unfiltered force of magic meets. I don't know if I quite like that. Also, this does need to be in all caps, which, oopsie. We'll just... Done not perfect. Done not perfect. We are doing great. So... I can maybe add like a little word or two at least to that. Figure out how... What else I might... Oh no, not this one. I clicked too soon. Go back. I'm glad this little go back button takes me back to the editing mode and not just back to the map itself. Okay. So that, yeah, that looks good. That's ideal. Really, I could probably come up with a better picture for that at some point. But not right now. Right now I don't really have... I don't have a whole lot. Gosh, I don't really have images for, like, some of these northern lands either. Like for the Dead Forest, I did write about a creature from the Dead Forest, and so I have at least an image that would be situated within it. Just ready to use, which is good. I do need that. Let's see. We sure are figuring things out as we go. Oh my gosh, and I did it again. I've only uploaded a version that I like cropped and edited specifically to put into an article. And I don't actually know if this one I saved as a like regular... The creative process is sometimes difficult. Only sometimes. What image should I use for Savannah Northlands? That one. Okay, cool. So I'm looking at some of the other images I've saved, like, ooh, maybe I could use this somewhere. What image should I pull for you? Oh yes, that one. Maybe better situated as the city photo instead of the whole region. I don't know. Oh, I think that might actually be a good image for a different region that I have. It'd be kind of weird to use it again. Let's see, if I use a different color version, it'll be like it's for a completely different region, right? I'm in caps lock still. We're doing our best, and that is what matters. What did I open? Dead forest. Okay, I need to kind of stay on track. I'm sure I have the image available to me somewhere, and I could just go grab it. Can't be up too far in my little bot chat. I kind of just like made a lot of pictures. Okay, yeah, there it is. Oh, okay, I guess we're looking right at it. Here we go. Now we can just pop that to our little bang. Little dead forest cervids. They're very cute. They're very friendly. And by friendly, I mean they just stare at you. It's very unnerving. They don't actually do anything, which I don't actually know that that makes it any better. They don't do anything that you know of. They could very well be boring deep into your soul. You never know. Such is the nature of these creatures. They just kind of do stuff. You don't know until it's too late. I don't know. This is a creature I definitely want to get more into, and at least discover for myself why they are just staring at people in the forest. I haven't quite come up with the reason yet. Secret, secret. But no, I must pretend, as the master of this world, that I know everything about it. Because really, when you pretend you know everything about something, eventually you're bound to kind of pick up some kind of knowledge, right? At least I think that's how it works. But really, I mean, what reason would a strange deer in the woods really need to stare at travelers passing by? Although I guess I did say in my article that, very bad things happen to people who try to mess with them, so I guess they do stuff. Real deer tend to just stand there and stare too. Oh, true. Hello, hello, how are you today? Hello, Prippy Monty Poppycock, hello. How do you prefer your name in shorthand? What do we like? Prippy? Monty? The possibilities are endless. No skimping out on the name, gotta go full force every time. You got it. Understood. Hmm. Tired and going to bed, but I thought I'd squeeze in for another look at that awesome map. Yeah, well, I'm glad you stopped by. We have worked on a couple, just a couple more pins today so far. Like one or two. Which one did I grab today? I grabbed this one today. I grabbed this one today. Currently working on the Dead Forest. So yeah, we are moving along rather slowly, but thank goodness I have another week. I need to use that time wisely. They extended the deadline, yeah, exactly. So I'm very glad for that. It's a little boon that I definitely needed because I would not have time before Saturday to get any of this done. I just need to make sure that I make time, I carve out the time for it during next week. Which I think should be doable. Certainly much more attainable now. Because I have an entire extra week. I'm sure, like, even though I'll be busy this weekend, I should be able to carve out some quiet time to just kind of sit and write. And I will be very glad for that. You know, just in between the wild partying, I'm sure I'll be doing. No, I'm no party animal. I show up, I eat food, I sleep. Very good. Ooh, turn off caps lock. Yoo-hoo. I too partake in the wild partying. Yes, indeed. Woo, party! Yes, absolutely. Listen, the nerds sometimes do know how to throw a party. And I'm not one of those nerds, but I do sometimes partake in the fiestas of others. Very rarely, but I do. I don't know, it's hard to get me out of the house and like in a way that makes me comfy. My ideal kind of party is just us kind of sitting in a room together. Or just hanging out. Maybe some drink is involved. Maybe some excellent foods. Home cooked. That's kind of exactly what I'm heading out to this weekend, so I'm very glad for that. Yeah, playing TTRPGs. Yeah, just any role-playing games, card games, board games, just anything. With a wide selection of cheeses, absolutely. That's like the best part. The charcuterie board. It's really... Is it really a party anymore, like in this day and age, if you don't have a charcuterie board? You don't have a lovely selection of cheeses and meats and fruits and things? I don't know, it doesn't feel as rich or exciting without it, in my opinion. So yes, I'm trying to fill out the pin now for my dead forest. It is as it sounds. It's full of dead stuff. And stuff that is less than dead, but still technically dead. Undead, if you will. My TTRPG group is responsible for both the wildest and tamest parties I've ever been to. Yeah, honestly, When nerds go wild, they go absolutely balls to the wall wild. And all the other times, they're just very chill. Very little cheese going around. Could do with some more of that. Yeah, exactly. Just tell your group that, you need to start stepping up your party game and just start bringing in cheeses. Honestly, if every single person buys like one type of cheese, it's like a couple dollars. And boom, you have a wide selection to choose from. Unless everyone really likes one type of cheese, which, while technically kind of unfortunate, it just means you get more of it for everyone, so I don't really see it as a downside in the end. You just, yeah, either you get a ton of variety, or you get none. But everyone is still happy because they brought in what they like. Couple of dollars. If only Norwegian born and raised, everything is expensive. Well, yeah. maybe it's not gonna be that cheap everywhere. But I can definitely go to the store right now in the good old US of A and pick up some pretty decent cheese for just like a couple bucks. If I want like the fancy stuff, of course, it's gonna be a little bit more than a few dollars. But even then I'd pay like $10. I'd pay that much for some decent cheese. Okay, let's bring me this article, because I don't even remember what I have written. Yeah, I wrote about these things, but not about the forest that they live in. So that is something to fix soon. Just be careful, fondue and board games can get messy. Yeah, don't push over the fondue fountain. That'd be no good. I don't know, odds are if I were ever to try a fondue fountain, I'd end up like that one mukbanger who just like who tried to start it up but it wasn't all melted yet, so it's just going everywhere and just start crying. That would end up being me for sure. It's like I've never used one, and so I'm sure if I tried, it would just not end very well. Keep your cheeses at room temp. Yeah, there you go. You don't want them melting all over your wonderful games, and some of them are really expensive. Oh, I guess if you're playing Magic, you might have you hopefully have your cards sleeved. Maybe double sleeve them to protect them from the fondue on the loose, you know? Alright. That will do for now. So let us just refresh this page with the map on it. We will zoom in a little, pop in here. Yeah, there we go. We have a pin for the dead forest now. Very good. Oh, but what do I want Gore to look like? See, this is now... We are starting to get into further and further into uncharted territory. Places of my world that I do not have articles for. And have to now come up with everything sort of on the spot. But okay, let us kind of jump back into what we said we were going to do. We're going to grab one more article from the conditions list that I had read about. The next one on my list is Madness. And do my little review of what it is, what it was, and what I learned from it, so I can add it to my reading challenge article. Madness by Rumengul was a fantastic article, and I think definitely the kind of takeaway that I had from this, my little New Year article, was that it is, I imagine it is extremely fun on the writer's end to throw in just very vague, very mysterious statements into your articles and have other people wonder what the heck they mean. Because without any extra context, it's just, like, who? Like, in this article specifically, like, I suppose is what happened to him in bold. It's like, who is him? Why is him bolded? What does this mean? Where do I find out who him is? And then the follow-up, just, I would try if it was not for the risk. I might just try. Like, that kind of stuff. Like, that's not a information is missing kind of mystery. That's a, this writer has planted this little mystery in here to keep you on the edge of your seat. And I love that. That is the good, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that will be my little takeaway that I write about in my little New Year's resolution. My world is filled with gaps of all kinds. Missing information. Articles lost to time. If I had written that, that would have been pure bullshit to hide the fact I ran out of things to write. But that's just me. Well, listen. It can fool people. And I think that is an art in and of itself. It's just, it's not a mystery because stuff is missing. It's a mystery because you've made it into a mystery, even if it is to hide the fact that information is missing. It doesn't read like missing info. It's not frustrating, it's engaging. And that's the goal. It might be a little bit frustrating if you're impatient and you just don't know where to find this extra context, but that's, I don't know, at that point, that's just you being a little impatient. You just have to pester the writer for the answers, so that they actually write about it. Give them that little push, you know? Sometimes writers really need that. Maybe you feel a little demotivated, maybe you feel like nobody cares about what you're writing, and then someone's like, who is this? What does this mean? What is this about? And you're like, oh man, people are interested, people want to learn, people want to read. And then bam, another article happens. And then that article also has a mystery that hasn't been explained because maybe the writer hasn't written about it yet. But it doesn't look like missing information. It looks like another breadcrumb. It looks like a little something something that they left for the reader to be like, oh, I need to know more. But when the writer knows more, I'm sure you will too, dear reader. I'm sure he will, one day. It's me when I DM. Oh, this will be a mystery for next session. Yes, exactly. You have to keep them interested. You have to make them think like, oh, there's so much more planned. The truth is I just haven't prepared. Yes. That is the key to being a successful DM. It's to make the players think that you are always prepared. Make them think that. Maybe you reinforce it by having really good improv skills and they think, wow, this DM really had everything planned out from the start. Like, wow, they really knew that we were going to do this weird off-color thing to completely throw off the story. And meanwhile, the DM's just like sweating like, oh no, they did this thing. I didn't plan for this. Oh god, what do I do? Okay, well, we're going this way. We're going this way. Oh, like this, this thing, this mysteriously has done this thing. Look, here's a distraction. And you just make it all flow together so seamlessly that they think, wow. They really have it nailed. And then when that doesn't work, you just kind of push them into a corner like, okay, get on the choo-choo train. We're going on the railroad. You guys are being too wacky. I may be the all-seeing god of this world, but I don't know everything. So today we're just gonna stick with some of the things that I do know. And maybe while we do that thing, I will come up with some more ideas for that thing that you guys wanted to do. It's not railroading if they don't realize it. True. See, if they don't realize they're being railroaded, then they're really just kind of following what's interesting, right? Like they're making their own choices. You're just making certain choices a lot more appealing for them. Manipulation is a DM's best tool. Wow. I mean, you certainly are manipulating their fates. With every throw of the die. Yeah, we are filling out this little article here with all of my little, my little reading challenge updates. Oh, but for real, if you don't steer your PCs a little, they'll die too soon and the players will be sad. Yeah, that's fair. And if they're sad, I'm sad. Yeah, exactly. You don't want your players to be sad. You like making their characters sad, but only if that makes the player happy, you know what I mean? Like in LARP, we have this little term called suffer puppets, which is what we call our characters because we're always making them have an absolute miserable life. But we as the players are having a lot of fun doing it. Like, wow, look at all these awful, terrible things that happened to my character. They're having such a miserable, awful time. I cried 6 times during game. And people are like, oh wow, oh my god, are you okay? And then... and it's like, no man, I'm totally good. That was so much fun. You know, all that pain, it just builds character, exactly. All the pain and suffering, you must grow through it. Grow through the pain. Felt almost a little bit like a little Rita Repulsa line. Like, nah, grow through the pain. That'll be my tagline as an artist. making art always hurts. But you know what? We do it anyway. We put the pain in painting, am I right? Pain good. No pain, no gain, am I right? That's what I have to remind myself of whenever I go to the gym. Especially if you're bread, because then the pain is bread. I do love bread. Oh my gosh, I had my first, like, solo trip to a restaurant a couple days ago. Like first one in a while. Like I've eaten at restaurants by myself before, but this was my first time in a while because I wanted to celebrate. I was having a good day. I did some like really big adult stuff, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get myself a nice meal for just me. And it was one of those places where they bring out like the bread and the like little dipping oil. It's just it was so good. The bread was perfect. It was so soft in the middle, and the crust was nice and crunchy. It's fantastic. A plus. And that was just my little appetizer. Yeah, a good bread. Yeah, that's life changing. That sounds wonderful. Congratulations on the bread. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I felt very accomplished that day. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna treat myself to a nice meal. A nice delicious fancy meal. Yeah, bread is life. There's so many good ones out there. And it's so silly. Like as a kid, I basically would not consume any form of bread other than like white bread, like you know, the awful kind of like processed white bread. Like that was my life. I loved it. And any other kind of bread, like God forbid it had like seeds or grains or anything in it, I just could not do it. It was a nightmare, it was terrible. Bad mouth feel, don't like. But now I have expanded my palate and I like bread. So many good ones out there. I've just been depriving myself as a child. I was just making some sourdough. Everyone should try it for at least a week. You know, I've been so curious about it cuz I see a lot of videos about people like making sourdough and just like baking in general on TikTok when I'm just kind of existing on it. I always think like, oh man, one of these days I'd really like to try kind of getting into that. Like at least kind of like making more of my own food instead of buying my food all the time. Like even if it's the small things, even if I just kind of like if I make myself a little loaf of bread each week, that'd be cool. I feel like that'd be awesome. And I don't know, I feel like I might try to do some of that after I move into my new place at the end of this month. And maybe I'll try to stock up my pantry. I'll try to get a bunch of like all the staples, all the essentials. And we'll see where that goes. I thing is you can't just make one sourdough bread. You have to make more, you're wasting a lot of ingredients. Yeah, it's totally fair. I know there's like kind of like a whole process and you have like like that sourdough like starter thing. And I'll have to do some more research into that and see how that works. But it's definitely something I would love to try out one of these days. Maybe even soon. But who knows? It could be now, it could be never. Hopefully it's not never, but it is sometimes difficult to just kind of keep up with things. Okay. Oh no, I went over with this one. This fixed, this fixed. Excellent, excellent. That's 2 of 5 for that section. We shall give this article a like. Once again, I am going to leave a little comment on this article. Well, thank you for letting me read the article on stream. And my thoughts. Part of my challenge. Comment something nice on every single one of these articles. Even though I'm doing way more articles than I need to for this challenge. Oh, it's so hard to choose from just a couple of articles that you want to read through. Because there's so many good ones. And I don't want to, I don't want to leave anybody out. Is it just me or is receiving a comment a bit of a weird feeling? Sorry, my juice is trying to assassinate me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd use the word weird. I think it's always super fun to know that someone's like read about my work and has found it interesting enough that they would actually leave a comment. Like, I know for a lot of people it's like a lot of effort to come out and like put words into something and like actually say something to another person, like give feedback, give praise, give anything. And so just knowing that someone took the time out to give me any kind of feedback is really cool. And I mean, everyone in the community is like super nice about it, like all the time. And so I usually know if I get a notification about a comment, it's always going to be something good. Always leave me with a smile. Make me happy. Yeah, I mean, what makes you feel so weird about it? Like, what about it don't you, maybe you don't like, or... Like, is it a negative kind of weird, or it's just like a, you don't really know what to... Like, you don't know what to make of this feeling kind of weird? You okay, or is the juice still killing you? It's killing me only a little bit. It's mostly fine. I'm alive. I will survive, I promise. We do just a tiny bit of murder here. Yeah, exactly. We do a tiny bit of murder, we do a tiny bit of dying. It's fine. It's all part of life, right? Living, dying. So it's perfectly normal if you just die a little bit on stream. It's fine. We don't really need to live anyway, do we? We're gonna go for round 2. We're gonna hope it goes better. Alright. Mission success. We have survived the sip. I don't know if I can describe it. Comments feel a bit otherworldly for some reason. Slightly eldritch, maybe. Oh, well, that's certainly a new take on comments. It's I kind of weirdly get where you're coming from. I don't know, because I do feel like I interface with the community far more often in like actual chats, little chat rooms on the Discord, all that. It's very rare for me to actually receive a comment on an article. It feels it's a very rare thing. I mean, I can almost guarantee it's because I just don't share my work enough. Like, I just kind of, I barely even do enough work to share. And even when I do, I still don't really get comments on my work, so it's quite the rare thing. I typically get more comments on, like, my community posts, like, things I post that are like, my pledges for events and little event articles, like those kinds of things. Those usually get some comments, little chatter about those. But about the actual, like, work and the writing itself, like the world building, not so much. I feel like people kind of just read it and they move on, and that's totally fine. Maybe they move on, they read other articles of mine, or they go read someone else's articles. Honestly, as long as they're having a look, it's pretty cool. Just drop a little like. But yeah, mostly chatting with people on Discord and then receiving a comment just feels like a very different form of communication. I don't share my work with other people other than my D&D players, which may be the reason. I mean, yeah, if other people, if random people aren't really seeing your work at all, then I do partake in competitions and such, though. It's probably how people find me. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely where I've seen your name before. It's like in competitions. I think during summer camp I saw like a couple of your articles. So yeah, I definitely feel like events is where people will find each other the most. Oh no. What, oh no to me finding you? Some of your articles? They were good. I liked them. At least I liked them enough to remember that you wrote them. This was so long ago now that I can't quite remember which ones they were. The eldritch sensation is creeping up on me. Oh no. right. And thus my Eldritch Bog magics have posted a comment onto this person's article. One of my articles became featured during summer camp. I thought you had to submit them to get them featured. I think if you're talking about like the regular article features, like in that in the Discord channel, I think they just take like random articles. I don't think that they have to be event specific. I just recently had one of my articles pop up as featured. But it was like a week or two ago, I don't know, and like it didn't have anything to do with any challenge or anything. It was, yeah, you saw it. Oh my gosh. That is one of the articles that I actually really need to go back and like change a few names and do a little retconning because it's a little out of date. So I'm a little sad actually that was the article that got chosen. But it's okay because the article itself is still like a decent one. I'm still happy with how it turned out. But I quite literally completely changed the name of one of the regions. So, like the region he's from, I've completely renamed, and there's articles I can link in there and other information that I could add. Yeah, it's okay though. It's fine. I am always just happy that I got a little bit of spotlight. It's always exciting. It's always fun. Pop that into that. Oh, where am I? It's scary. Wait, what's scary? Eldritch machinations at play, I tell you. Yes, indeed. Oh man, I'm sleepy today. I got what I would call is enough sleep, but only enough. Enough to get me through the day. But even then, it's still the day is still trying me. And so I'm still struggling to be a person right now. Do I want this image? Oh my gosh, where is it? And I was going to sleep 45 minutes ago, but here we are enduring. Yeah. Honestly, that's kind of how every single day goes for me. I tell myself, yes, I'm going to bed. I'm going to sleep. It is a nice like 11 p.m. Look at me, I'm quite literally in my bed. And then 3 hours later, I'm still awake. I don't know why. Life is difficult. And yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. Where's Brian? I like that. Oops. Header 4. Paste that. / header 4. That stuff ain't healthy. Yeah, it sure is not. I sure would love to sleep like a normal person. But I don't know if that is something that my brain or body will permit for me. So I just kind of have to try my best. And try I do. Who's got time to sleep like a normal person? Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been saying for years. I don't have time to live like a normal person, let alone sleep. Well, normal people, I guess, but I ain't that. Yeah, me neither. There are some days where I wish I was maybe a little bit more normal. Like a tasteful amount more normal. Oh god, what did I just move? Yeah, like a tasteful amount of more normal. That would be really cool. That'd be really convenient. It would help me out quite a bit. But that is not how it works. Either you're normal or you're not. And I think the universe has decided that I don't get to be normal. I get to be a disaster. But like, it's fun sometimes. It may not be fun disaster all the time, but it is what it is. We work with what we are given in this life. At least it's more interesting. Yeah, I often wonder, just like it feels almost like cringy to say, but like I don't know how normal people like live. You know, like people without nerdy hobbies and like just hobbies in general, I guess. Like what do you do? Like you go to work, you come home. What do you do? Where do you go see people? The bar? Hit. No thanks. I'm okay. They watch the sports. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. My dad watched the TV. Yeah, I mean my dad also watched the TV. He watches hockey, actually. That's his thing. So yeah, yeah, the normals where they go to work, they watch sport, which is cool. I watch people play video game, which is basically the same thing. Some of them are considered esports, so we're not so different after all. Esports? Who would ever care about those? Oh, certainly not you. You've never partaken in an esport in your life, am I right? Not even once? I actually gave this piece a title. I guess I should theoretically give all of these names, but I don't know that I want to. Ooh, but we are getting somewhere with these images. We are working on these pins. We are getting work done. So let us see. I guess I could. Us. Do I have any good pictures for Goldport? I do have an image for the Gilded Reef, which we could just go and do right now. I just, let me find this article, because now I have to... Excellent, excellent. Okay, let's pop open the Gilded Reef right now. It's not that one. Header 4 / header 4. Oh, I didn't put the 4 in there. Oh, my neck is so crunchy right now. Yeah, this is one of my articles from summer camp, and it's kind of where I started really making use of these containers. Just to kind of add little snippets of something, just in a little box. Because you know, if it's in a box, you gotta read it. That means it's something important. That means it was important enough of an informational snippet that it gets its own box, and I think that's very exciting. Kind of formatted them to look exactly like my my quote box, just the default quote container. Now let us see this. It's a lovely little coral reef. Or it's not important enough for the main text. Ooh. Ooh, that is also a very strong take on what that could mean. See, this is why it's cool to talk to other people. Because sometimes they just have a completely different outlook than you. And it's always very intriguing to see. Hmm? I know Chris Clark of ECC Books at least ignores the beginning of an article if it's in a box. Oh no! Every single one of my articles has a quote in a box at the beginning of it. That's like every single one. He's judged some challenges before. Yeah, I mean, listen, people have different ways of reading things, and that is a-okay. Sometimes it be happening. Okay. And that is one more pin taken care of. We love to see it. And we refresh. Come on. Zoom. And boom. Zoom and boom. We have the Gilded Reef. Very cool. Yeah, I'm going to have to... gosh, I'm gonna have a lot of images that I need to make. And honestly, I think maybe over this weekend, where even if I don't have my laptop handy, I will still have my phone. And I can create these images from my phone. I mean, I will have my laptop, but it's... I don't know, we'll figure it out. What I mean to say is I can generate images for myself from anywhere, no matter where I am or what I'm doing. So even if I don't have time to fill out my pins over this weekend, I will definitely be able to create the content for them and then plug them all in later. And so that is most certainly what I will attempt to do. So even if I don't have a ton of time, I can get something done. I can do a little bit of something. I can at least have that much availability. Gosh, I don't know, like it's... And like, I'm sure what I'm about to say is exactly the point of why Dimmy was giving out these missions to begin with. This is getting me to think so much about my world and about what everything is supposed to look like and what everything is and what it all means. And so with each pin that I'm filling out, I'm getting to know a lot more about my world. And in filling them out, again, not only am I starting to know more about my world, I will also have more about my world to share with other people. Which is one of those things that I have felt severely lacking in my writing, in my world building. Is this kind of like, I've had this very disorganized approach. I've not really been, I guess, kind of keeping up with, I don't know, like I don't have like a world primer, I don't have any of that kind of stuff, but I would like to. And the more I find out about my world through mapping it out and fully understanding what's actually in there and what isn't, well, the easier it'll be to actually write a primer on it all, because then I'll actually know what is in my world and what people would explore first. And so that is exciting. Oh, and just like last stream, this mug still had a sticker on it, and I've just gotten it. When are you disclosing the lore about the secret bird wars? Well, you know I can't tell you that yet, right? It's a secret. But yes, I'm still kind of at this point in my world building where I know that I am going to have a world that has a lot of like a wide variety of like peoples, like fantasy races and things. But I've only written about like 3. And it is specifically, I've written about 3. And I think I've hinted at a 4th. But I definitely would consider it a crime if I did not add bird people to my world. At least in some capacity, I have to make bird people, or else it's not really a Strixline kind of world if I don't have bird people in it. I would like to be one of the first bird people. And knowing me, they would most definitely be based on owls. Oh god, she's adding murder. Yes. Yes! Murder! It's one of my favorite pastimes, don't you know? Yes, we're going to add bird people. One day. Who knows? I might even make it a little event. Much like how I am working on this map right now on stream. Maybe I'll invent bird people on my stream one day. Who knows? In the end. Call them owls. Owls. It's very cute. Yeah, well, we shall see what I end up calling them, what I end up making of them. It'll be a very fun time. no matter what I do, no matter what I pick and what I choose, it will just be fun. Now, what am I looking for? An image, perhaps, for my next pin. I'm gonna start kind of jumping out of order now, because I would at least like to finish the ones that I have images pre-made for. Ones in which I have already written about, maybe made articles for. Because, I mean, like, Volcon and Kamigon for sure have images. Because I made them during this summer camp, which is when Midjourney really took off. So, let me see. I love adding weird new names for well-known creatures. Owls are twisters, crows are the shadow-feathered. Keeps things interesting to think of what different races might call known things. Ooh, yes, absolutely. And yeah, the whole topic of what other races might call things. That's kind of that is kind of a concept I would love to play with more as I actually get back into conlangs and things. Because most certainly, if I'm creating words for these fantasy languages, different people from different upbringings and different languages, different cultures are gonna call things differently. Even just down to the words that they're using, the translations of them. One person's bird might be another language's flying mouse. I don't know. Like that kind of stuff. Like maybe they don't have birds. Maybe they don't know what that is, and so they just pick one random small creature that vaguely resembles a bird, and they say, "Oh, it's a flying version of this," and that is a bird. Yeah, what different peoples call each other. Yeah, because that, like, even in the real world, like, that is a huge thing. Like, there are a lot of places around the world that refer to different countries by like vastly different names. Um, and yeah, like that is a great thing to explore within a world because it's very real. Oh my gosh, where? Oh gosh, the image I have for this city is not in the aspect ratio that is consistent with everything else that I've put in. I guess I could use... You would call me Norwegian, I would call me Nordman. Ooh. Exactly, that's really cool. Yeah, like the most obvious example I can just conjure up off the top of my head is how, you know, we call it Japan, but they call it Nihon, you know? So they call themselves something very different from what other people call them. And that is just, some call me Keegan, others call me Strange. What if we do both? It can be fun to be strange. What if you are Doctor Strange? Keegan Strange, PhD. There you go, exactly. Now we go here. Shall use this as the image for Kamigon. Oh, and this one does have an article already linked to it. Oh gosh, it just kind of show me the full article, please. Yeah, see, this article does have an image, but it's not cropped quite the right way. So I guess I could crop it myself, but I don't know, like the whole reason I like this image is because it has the top and bottom, and both of them are important to this image, so I can't just crop it down to 5:3, because then I'd have to lose at least one of them. And I'd rather the whole image be captured and remain. But yeah, we It is a good image. It's, I don't know, I feel like early Midjourney had some of the coolest images. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I just think the generation was way cooler. But also I don't know what's all that different, what the different versions are. Trained it differently. A distinct style early on, now you have to prompt it for styles. Yeah. And I don't really know all of the style prompts. You have to like pull up one of those websites. It's like, oh yes, we'll craft a prompt for you if you just plug in all the things you want to see. And those are helpful. I think one of those was shared around for a little while around the WorldAnvil server. And it certainly was very, very helpful. Yeah, and the city that this image is for, this is the capital of Volcan, which is this huge volcanic region. And I kind of talked about it on Tuesday, where it's like, it's just been completely overturned by one of the ley lines, which has just completely agitated the entire region. So now it's all fiery and dangerous. But in its center, not center, but within the region is its capital, Kamigan. And I don't know, I feel like it's one of my personal favorites that I've written about, just as far as cities go. And it's one of those cities that they don't really get a whole ton of visitors, for obvious reasons. It's not exactly safe to come here. But the city itself is rather protected, so those who come, they tend to have a fine time. But in this city, it's mainly ruled by crafters and crafting guilds, and basically if you're a crafter, you are already like on a pinnacle way higher than anyone else who lives there. And glasscraft is one of their huge things. And so I got to spend a lot of summer camp thinking about how like glasscraft would look in this part of my world. Yeah, it's super exciting to think about just like how crafting works and what people would make in this volcanic place. And I thought, well, volcanic glass is a really cool thing. I don't know, like especially with like the early Midjourney stuff, like it's kind of, I came up with like a lot of really like wispy forms. Just imagine like what glass would look like that crafters would make in a volcanic setting. And I actually, on my way home today, I was actually, for some reason I was thinking specifically about this subject. And I was like, oh man, what if glass in this region behaved a lot differently because it was just always really hot? Like what if you took glass that was made here and you brought it to like a frigid climate? Would it behave differently? Would it become like super brittle because now it's just in an environment that it wasn't really suited for, wasn't made in? Because it is like a magical, heat. Like, it is... Like, this region is this way because of magical influence. And so if these things are removed from this area of magical influence to maybe another one or like a different type of magic, like, would that change something about their properties? Would they suddenly become less hardy or maybe more hardy depending on that? It's a lot to think about. Maybe they wouldn't be affected at all. Maybe you think they would be. Yeah, last time I introduced a hot glass cup to cold water, it shattered. Exactly. So it's not always very friendly to do so. Glass can definitely have a temper. And it just, sometimes it just doesn't want to do things the way you want them to. I'm once again looking for images. I mean, I do have Funky Lizard. I think that might be a... I think that might be a better one for the region. Wait, no, Kamigon. Kamigon is what I was editing, not the region itself, so no, this actually... The image I've chosen is fine for it, but maybe I would prefer to use this image of the guild hall. In fact, I think I would prefer that, just thematically, because that is kind of really what the city is about. I'd rather use that image than like the city of the image of the city under siege. So I think that that's a little... Microwaving eggs is not without risk? Okay, yeah. Sometimes things just get a little... Sometimes things get a little messy. But yes, okay, so we have Kamigan. Pin is complete. We are working our way through. Bang. That's done, that's done. Now we can jump into the actual region. And that is Bolkan. Still in caps lock. Can you stop that? Yes, now I have to remember which image I had picked up just prior. Yeah, so it's this one. Oh, get back here. Bang. Now let us go to the Bolkan article. Pop that in here. Okay, beautiful. This one was painless because we at least had content that we could make map pins from. And now, let us go back to the map. Let us refresh. Now we have a pin for this. Oh, I didn't I didn't make this intro thing a header for, I guess. So let's go fix that real quick. Now that should fix it. Okay, yes, good. Excellent. So now we have 3 pins in Volcan. There is one more that we can add at a later time. I mean, I could just add the pin now, and we can edit it later. It's not on this window, it's on this window. Drag the pin over. Pick up a little bit. I can put this one, maybe it's down here. Okay. So you want one of these. And this will be for the settlement Maroon, which exists here. Do I have an article for this? I do! It already exists! Very nice. And now I think Maroon is a city I wrote about maybe 2 years ago during summer camp. Uncertain. But it do be here. And so, let me go open this article and see what's actually in it. Oh gosh, that didn't actually open the article. That just opened the map again. Okay, yeah, that link doesn't work. Maybe if I go on the actual map. Okay, yeah, there's like actually stuff in here. Let us read the full article. Let us... this was one of my old placeholders from with my like previous CSS theme. We'll have to get rid of that before we actually submit this map. 'Cause I don't really need people seeing that. It's old content. Too old, I would say. Let's grab this, grab that. Now this one I definitely don't have an image for. Yes, we have... Was your world pinkish? Yeah, it was pinkish. It was, yeah, it was definitely pinkish. It was kind of... It had like a very smoky kind of background and previous to the one I currently have. It was like that for like a year, I think. I'm not sure. And then I kind of changed it, I think, before summer camp? Like right before? I'm not sure. I was very happy with how it looked, but I did not feel like it matched my world, if that makes sense. Like I thought it was pretty. It was very pretty. But pretty didn't fit the desired aesthetic, you see. I feel ya, yeah. We just gotta make do with what we got. This, honestly, sure, this image is actually pretty good for what I'm doing here, I think. I need more certainty in my own choices, my own actions. Oh, map, please move. Okay, now we refresh once more. Perfect. There we have it. We have 4 pins for the region of Volcan. We love that. It would be cool for me to come up with more like individual smaller places for each of my regions. But much like the rather obscured other half of my world, I haven't figured everything out yet. I'd be terrified to change style now. I usually have tiny snippets of CSS on each article. Yeah, I haven't really used too much CSS like on an article to article basis. Usually the only thing I'll CSS really is let me just make this window bigger so I can see the sidebar. On like event articles and things, I'll usually hide this little roll grabber on my sidebar because it's not really relevant unless you're looking at content. Even still, it's not super relevant because I haven't separated all my DM information from player information. Mostly because I just haven't I haven't written very much outside of challenges in a very long time. And I don't know that like secret content counts for challenge entry anything. So I just kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't even need the important tag in there. I just write down like, oh, do not show this on this article, please. Thank you. But yeah, I just need to start, I do have some articles from summer camp that's like, hey, disclaimer, there's gonna be stuff in this article that's most certainly not like regular knowledge, regular player knowledge. I just need to start slapping those on like all my articles until I know that I've gone through them and said, hey, okay, so this is gonna be DM knowledge. This is stuff that you probably wouldn't know just existing in this world. But that is a huge undertaking, and that is likely something I'm going to do when I'm not actively working on a challenge or just like a plethora of other things. But soon, soon, it will happen. I know it will. I feel it in my bones. Yes. Yeah, I'm very happy. We've gotten, I want to say maybe, what have we done today? We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we've done like 7 pins today on stream, which is pretty nice. And so I think the rest I will have to do on my own time, outside of streamy time. Decent, yeah, decent. And of course, in between all of those, I've been hopping back and forth and editing my New Year's resolution article. There's gonna be a lot of writing here, and I'm thinking about replacing these little icons here. They're little placeholders. I was thinking about replacing them with the little square views of these sketches that I made for each of the articles. Nice work. Been lurking while reading comics. Oh, very nice. Hello, Katoyfoy. How are you doing today? Yeah. So I'm probably gonna replace all these little placeholders with the little sketches I made for each of the articles. Because all the articles in this reading list are gonna be ones that I did on stream. And I think that will be just a really fun touch. And so eventually, once I get all of these done, only then shall I think about individually uploading every single one of my sketches, maybe refining them first before I do so. Who knows? It all depends on what we have time for and what we don't, but we'll get there. We will get there in time. We have a week. That is, as long as I prioritize and do the things that I need to do when I need to do them, we will be a-okay. But that's, of course, that's the hardest part, is actually keeping up with that. Lazy. Do a New Year's resolution article and muddle around the world. And chill and feeling no guilt instead. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need to take a break. Sometimes you need to rest. Just have a little rest and relaxation, have a good time. And honestly, I could probably afford to have a little break. But let's, oh my gosh. Let me see what is up on the Twitch. See if anyone's actually kind of like online right now. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so yeah, I do have one person at least streaming at the moment. So what do you guys say we, for the rest of this evening, go hang out with Coffee Quills, who looks like they kind of like just fired up their stream. She's writing, she's doing For the Words, stories on Fire Day. Ooh, I think that sounds pretty exciting. So I think that is how we're gonna wrap up the stream today. We are going to go hang out with Coffee Quills. So I hope everyone who came by today had a wonderful time just hanging out, doing their own thing. I'm glad for all you lurkers who are just hanging out. I will see you again on Tuesday, just like earlier in this week. Who knows what exactly I'll be doing. I will likely be finishing up this map if I... hopefully with some more content that I can just go plug and play. I can just bust through a bunch of stuff. Or I will be continuing work on my New Year's resolution article. Or I might be doing something else entirely. I do have just one little bit of good news to share also. I've finally reached the point where I am a Twitch affiliate. They just need to verify that I exist financially. And then I can start like accepting subs and things, and I can upload my emotes. And it's gonna be lots of fun. I'm very excited about it. It's been really cool. Congratulations, yeah! Everyone's talking to me like, oh, when are you gonna push for partner, huh? And it's like, I don't think I'm gonna be doing that for a very long time. I'm not exactly like a popular streamer, you see. And also, in order to be a partner, you have to stream a whole lot longer, like a lot more often. I don't have time for that, unfortunately. Like maybe circumstances might change in the future, but I certainly don't have time to be streaming for, gosh, what is it, like 60 hours in a month? I'm not sure. The requirements are up there. They're somewhere. I don't know. It's just a little bit too much for me. I don't think it's something I'll be able to do just on the general life schedule that I own. But of course, it'd be a cool thing to reach for someday. One of these days. But we will see. We will have to get there one day. Take it one day at a time, do new things, try out new stuff. This whole streaming thing in general is just a very new thing for me, so just the thought of trying to push for something that huge already is like, maybe let's hold off on that. Maybe let's just get through a couple more good streams and we'll see if this is for me, you know? But yeah, we're going to call it here for tonight. So thank you everybody for joining. Thanks for having a good time and lurking with me. And yeah, stay productive. Have a wonderful, lovely rest of everything, rest of the day, rest of your life. Stay hydrated, get some more productivity time. And yeah, I'll see you guys all later. Good night, everybody. Ooh.